Happy Sat Stacking Saturday. Welcome everyone to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, we break down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and everything you need to know in the market, including Arizona governor vetoes the bill to make Bitcoin part of the state reserves. Damn you, Katie Hobbs. Unacceptable. We'll also be discussing Vitalik wants to make Ethereum as simple as Bitcoin in 5 years. Max responded Ethereum died. It just hasn't been buried yet. In fact, it was a stillborn. What an incredible waste of time and energy. We'll also be discussing, speaking of the high priest, Max Keiser, thinks Bitcoin will stop Israel displacing Palestinians. That's right. Bitcoin perpetuates peace and love. Fiat currency, can't say the same. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin bros at the club may stop the U.S. government from buying the Bitcoin, according to Arthur Hayes. Just blaze. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin soaring 2,426% to literally 2.4 million, according to the ARK Invest founder, Cathie Wood. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market today. All this plus so much more here on Sat Stacking Saturday. In today's stream. Welcome everyone to the live stream, tri-stream, live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. Let me know how the stream is thus far. What up with the bitty boys and the bitty baddies? Shout out everyone in the live chat, Short Coin, moderators, Crypto Storm, East Afro King, DNA Noonan at home, watching the greatest show on the tube. Love your brother right back at you. Bada boom, bada Bitcoin. And JV all the way. Thank you guys. Shout out Lifeline, Violetta. Good to have you here. And the rest of the fam, Guy Per, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and check the X feed. Shout out Chris. You guys know the routine. It'll be pinned in a half a second. And as soon as it's pinned, it'll be easy to find. And all you got to do is comment, quote, hit that repost. It helps out tremendously. And it is now officially pinned to the top of the profile. I'm rocking the New York jersey, number 11 Bronson. Today with the Bitty B. Shout out Sergio, BitcoinCaps.net. And welcome, everybody. Exciting times. Excited to be here, share with you the latest of the Bitty news. We were above 97 yesterday. We're maintaining above 96.4 at this current moment. Shout out Jeff Curry. I made it to another live. And shout out Max Keiser. Greatly appreciate the repost on today's show. So shout out the high priest as well. And if you didn't know, tickets are already almost sold out for the Max and Stacy Invitational. And they just went live on the 1st. There are only a few tickets left from my understanding. So if you're looking to attend the conference, which will be January of 2026, you may want to cop your ticket sooner than later there. And you'll see on my feed, I reposted, Max, and it should be easy to find. Of course, if you're following Max and Stacy, you'll see it on their feeds as well. But this is what it looked like. Tickets went on sale May 1st. So if you're ready for some warm Bitcoin country weather, along with the OGs themselves, including your boy right here, I'll be there. You may want to cop your ticket. But Katie Hobbs sucks. Couldn't agree more, Tony. What awful news. After Bitcoin has achieved getting to that position to where it just needed to be signed, and then she vetoes the bill. Unacceptable, Katie. Not a good look. Enemy of mankind, I dare say. You're up there with Jim Cramer now, Katie. Sat Stacking Saturdays. That's right, Short Coin. You nailed it.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating. I waited all day, maybe I need a life. But Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
Welcome everyone to the live stream. I'm proud to announce, oh my God, that's crazy. I just hit 40,000 followers on X. It only took me, I think I created the account in 2019. We're in 2025. 6 years and over 30,000 posts. And here we are. I just hit the big 4-0. So thank you guys for supporting me on X. And I just reposted everybody. That's how we hack the algorithm. Yep, Katie is virtually a Karen. We might as well call her Karen Katie. I'm with you, Short Coin. I don't know. She's of the dark forces, I would assume, compromised. Mobile, Alabama. Shout out James Smith. I got me a Spindrift lime flavor today. Shout out the rest of the mods I don't see on the stream yet. Of course, Chandy10, number one Bitcoin, Music, JC Ice, our very own Oracle, and Crypto Surge, rep in New York, Brooklyn. Unfortunately, Garcia got his ass handed to him yesterday versus Rolly Romero. I saw that. Haney was the most boring fight of the night. Just danced around the ring. Virtually, I think there was only 70 punches thrown, which is like unheard of for an entire boxing bout. But there you have it. Hey, JV, watch from Cornwall, England. Shout out my England family. Bitcoin is a blessing from God. Couldn't agree more. I'm getting these bitty blessings each and every day. And again, welcome everyone joining us. Tri-stream, live stream, live and in the flesh. Shout out Fairground. Greatly appreciate it. I see you, Serge. Thank you, brother. And the rest of the Biddy fam. Yeah, we're about to kick it off. I'm going to take a sip of the Spindrift, and we'll kick it off with our market watch. She's either working for the lizard folk, that Katie Hobbs, or she is one. You know what I mean? Birds of a feather flock together, a wise man once said. And I couldn't agree more there.
Oh, bring me up, Biddy glow. Prize discovery, yeah, let it show. Bang, bang, bang.
But on the real, I do genuinely believe anyone not embracing Bitcoin is either insanely stupid. I'm not going to say retarded. I was about to. Insanely stupid, or they're compromised. And you don't get in a position of power being insanely stupid. You get in a position of power being clever, sly, like a fox. So safe to say she's compromised, most likely. Let me know if you would agree. Roll Tide home for the Crimson. Word up. The Crimson Tide. I thought Katie Hobbs would have applied for the Bitcoin Reserve. Well, she probably has handlers or bosses who are opposed to it. Trust that. I don't think it's her free will. Nobody in a position of power has a free will to just do what they want. They have handlers and bosses they have to appease, who put them in that position of power and allows them to remain in that position of power. So her bosses, probably central bankers or birds of a feather flock together in that circle, are just like, no, we're not going to allow that. No way. And now they're going to have one of the biggest regrets in the history of their state. Mark my words. Just like Germany. How many billions of dollars did Germany lose being stupid? El Stupido. You do the math, several billions, right? Because I think they dumped when Bitcoin was like in the 40s or something like that before it started ripping like a new Scottie Pippen. But there you have it. And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream. Let's kick off the show. Happy Stacking Saturday. There he is. Oh, snap. Go tune in. Where are you at there, brother? Almost looks like you're at Disney or something. But we need to get you in front of the flat Earth map, the true depiction of the Earth. But respect, brother. Appreciate you rocking the cap. That was from your family vacay. Respect. Just hit you with the repost. And yeah, let's kick off today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important, smash the likes. Go ahead, subscribe, then ring the bell, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is spot episode 1981. I'm your host, JV. It's May 3rd, 2025. Markets maintaining above 96,300 at the time of the live stream, pulling up. Bitcoin down 0.5% on the day. Ether in the red, XRP in the red. Most of the market in the red, a handful in the green. Checking out coinmarketcap.com. Crypto market cap collectively is at a flat 3 trillion even McGeeven. And the Bitcoin market cap is just shy of the 2 trillion, currently 1.913 trillion. Virtually $1 trillion less than the total market. And we have a dominance on the rise for Bitcoin, now at 63.9%. Ether dominance at 7.4%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Layer up 6.5%, followed by DEXE up a modest 6%, and Flare up 4% as the majority of the market's currently correcting and in the red. And checking out the crypto bubbles. Let's get a look visually for the day. Unfortunately, 90% of the market in the red, including Trump coin down 11.4% just on the day. And zooming out for the weekly, Trump down 25%, And top gainers, virtual and layer, but again, most of the market in the red. And zooming out a little further for the monthly, the silver lining here, Trump is up 26% for the past 30 days, and so is the bulk of the alt market, with virtual leading the pack up 215%. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today we're in greed, 65. Yesterday, 67. Last week was 65. And last month was 25. And extreme fear. And scoping out, joining the live stream. Let me update the chat here for you guys. Stacking Saturday, that's right. Shout out the one and only Harry Balls. Good to have you here. Now you're here, we can let the party begin. OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg, what it do, family? Welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here. Shout out Catherine Weaver and Tip Tyler, live with Bitcoin JV. Respect, and don't forget about the Nipinator. Don't forget about the Nip. Boris Troll, cheers, fam. And again, thanks, Serge, and the rest of the fam. Keep the comments flowing. I'll be checking the X feed throughout the entire stream. Yay from Wisefield, Green, you gay. Tell me more about this Wisefield. Is that every Bitty Broski's dream where they find their dream wife? It's an interesting name. And it's a city, eh? Wisefield. Wow. Hopefully there's like a 5-to-1 female to male ratio. I hear it's like that in the Ukraine. There's 4 phones about the 54 million fart coins. What does that mean? There's 4 phone about the 54. But yeah, fart coin, yo. People got rich on a meme. Nipinator. He went all in on the fart coin. He traded his own coin, Nip coin. And he's rich. He's a billionaire. He's up there with like Sailor and Elon now. So show Nipinator some respect. He's going to come in tomorrow's show rocking a tuxedo. Watch. 420 alert. Happy 420 in advance. We're 3 minutes shy on my end from the infamous 420. Send it. And let's strike the gong and send the pretty little bitty where it belongs. 100K. I think this is going to be the week. Let me know your thoughts here. Now we're in May. We're off to a nice start for the second quarter. We had a bullish monthly close for April. Prior 2 months were bearish. After we had a very bullish November and January. But other than that, it's been pretty corrective. But we are so back. We're about to recapture 100,000 for the 1 millionth time. So send it. Nipsey, the new SEC, pretty much. Fire everyone at the SEC, and Nip and his wolf pack are taking over. Bought 54 million of the farts. Wow. I'm flushing the Meadow Park in Corona, Queens, where they filmed We Are the Men in Black. Oh, wow. So was that photo just taken? That's awesome. Shout out Queens. 100,000 by the end of May. And I didn't even know Men in Black was filmed there. That's awesome. 100,000, yeah, in play any moment. Could happen this weekend. It can happen when you least expect it. It can happen when you go to sleep this evening. I might have to wake you up. Set your alarm. Thank you again, Catherine. Appreciate it. We're about to dive into our TA, aka Astrology for the Baddies. What's crazy is 6 months still holding and buying more weekly. Word up. Passive hits me with the question mark. I don't know what you're questioning. The weather is good, says Short Coin. Figured out I went the wrong route. Got with JV and the Bitty Vam and went all out. Sipping the lime-flavored Spindrift. Chilling with the new billionaire Nipinator. Let me tell you something. Oh, yeah, 70s is perfect weather. Today, it's another gloomy day. It's been rainy really all week. So it isn't much sun. The clouds are blocking the sun here. Has anybody else stream just stopped? Out of the blue. Unacceptable. Yeah, so for those that may not know, maybe for the past week or so, we've been having streaming difficulties. It's to do with the software, the API between YouTube and... So if worse comes to worse, Bitty fam, and if the YouTube stream prematurely terminates, which has happened before, we'll switch the commenting to Rumble, and you'll still be able to watch the stream on X and Rumble, just as a worst case scenario. However, typically it'll fix itself and start being fine. So if it does glitch out or freeze, just refresh, and it will typically solve the problem. I know it's very frustrating, and trust, it's most frustrating for me streaming, knowing you guys are struggling sometimes with the stream. So as soon as it gets fixed, I'll let you know. I've been dependent upon Streamlabs support, and they haven't even responded to me in the past 4 days. Happy 420 though. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully it passes, but it's back. Good, good, good. Usually it fixes itself, but yeah, there's definitely some issues with the streaming software at this point, but we just gotta, fight through it and do our thing regardless. But anyways, fam, now for our astrology for the baddies. We'll do a little bit of TA and pull up some of the live charts. Headline here reads, stars are aligned for Bitcoin to rally to 100,000. In fact, we're like 3,500 away. But future traders are exercising caution. That's right. Bitcoin broke out in a tight trading range between 93 and 95.6 May 1st, following 6 days of limited movement. Despite reaching the highest price in 10 weeks of just shy of 98, sentiment remains neutral according to the Bitcoin derivative indicators. The price action has occurred alongside significant net inflows into the U.S. spot ETFs. Some of the disappointments amongst traders can be attributed to the ongoing global tariff dispute, which is beginning to affect macroeconomic data. Bitcoin traders are concerned that despite the growing interest from the institutional investors, fears of an economic recession could limit the price performance. This concern reduces the likelihood of Bitcoin reaching 100,000, or I should say 110,000 or higher, which is ultimately price discovery, as the current all-time high, which was achieved Jan 20th on Inauguration Day for Trump, was, is the current top. But anyways, the annual premium for the Bitcoin 2-month futures has remained between 6-7% over the past week, staying within the neutral range of 5 to 10% compared to January when the Bitcoin was trading near 95, and the futures premium was above 10%. Trader sentiment has weakened. The data suggests there is less optimism in the market, or at least less conviction and further price gains towards 100,000 and above. Let me know when you feel we'll likely recapture that six-figure mark at 100K. I think it'll most likely be this week. And it may be the point of no return, where once we cross above that, we may never dip sub 100,000 ever again as we continue to bullish momentum. But you guys let me know your thoughts. There's also the possibility that the 3.6 billion in net inflows into the spot ETFs over the past 2 weeks are being driven by delta neutral strategies. In this scenario, the flows reflect Bitcoin hodlers moving to listed products or using derivatives for hedging, and if so, the direct impact on price would be limited, which is consistent with Bitcoin's modest 5% gain during this period. So to determine whether professional traders are comfortable with Bitcoin around 97.5, it's helpful to examine the Bitcoin options market. And currently, the Bitcoin options 25% delta skew metric is currently near its lowest level since February 15th, indicating the whales and the market makers are assigning the higher odds to further the upside from here. This marks a sharp reversal from 3 weeks ago when the put options traded at a premium. So overall, Bitcoin derivatives indicate moderate optimism. Traders generally expect further price gains, but the bulls are refraining from using leverage. Some might argue that this creates the ideal conditions for a surprise rally, especially since the retest of 74.5 on April 9th did not significantly affect Bitcoin derivatives, and that's currently the local bottom, and it wasn't too long ago, literally 3 weeks ago. So we have already risen literally 2 God candles, 20,000 since hitting that bottom, and we're on the cusp of reclaiming 100 G's. But you guys let me know when you feel the pretty little bitty is likely to recapture that price target, and I'll read your comments out loud. And also, let's pull up some of the live charts real quick and take a quick glimpse. Let's start with the 1 hour and work our way backwards. So as you can see here, this is live and in the flesh via TradingView, via Coinbase. And as you can see on the hourly chart, big green candle just recently printed, which is nice, but no particular targets in play. Zooming out from there, we'll take a quick look at a 4 hour. The 4 hour chart also has a green candle, which is nice, and currently stuck at 96.3. Looking to make a big decisive move here. I think by the end of the weekend, hopefully by Monday, we're heading right back where we left off. But anyways, zooming out a little further, we take a look at a daily. Also, you can see the past couple of days were green candle closes, and today, thus far, we're forming a red. Also, there's a bull scenario in the red. bullish target sitting just shy of 112,000. And again, price discovery is 109.3. And price discovery is when things get exciting because Bitcoin has no top, as fiat has no bottom. There's no telling how high we can climb for the next leg up. I'm projecting somewhere in the 120 to 130 range, which leads us into the weekly chart. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 green consecutive weekly candles. Not too shabby. Tomorrow we'll make it official. As you can see, the last print is this ongoing week, which will close officially tomorrow. So if things maintain where they're at, that'll be an entire month of consecutive weekly candle closes. And you can see also the cup and handle target sitting at 124,000, very bullish. And again, I think that's the most probable next leg up once we recapture price discovery. And looking at the monthly, also bullishness here as the month of April was in the green, nice candle close, and thus far forming in the green for the new month of May, but May is just kicking off. And there you have it, yo. But you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll read your comments out loud. And again, welcome everyone to the live stream. Right now, we're live on X, we're live on Rumble, we're live on YouTube. 120 by the end of May projects Ricky Norwood. Respect, brother. Send it. I propose to go to the partners with my brother on a nanopod Bitcoin miner. Go to the partners. What are you referring to there, brother? What is the all-time high? No, 1093 on Coinbase, which is the current all-time high, fam. So, and every exchange is going to be a little different, but that's on Coinbase. So 1093 is current price discovery, and it was literally on Trump's inauguration day, which was January 20th. So it's been a few months. It's time to recapture that stat. You feel me? Don't forget, comments and quotes will get reposted. If you guys can help blow up the stream, it will only help. You can see that 420. There's literally 420 people on X right now. So happy 420 in advance, Biddy fam and the Biddy baddies. 110 by the end of May. What more can I say? 1093, you got it, brother. Hit the likes, guys. It's free to do so. Thank you. There's many ways to support us. One of the ways is you can become a member of the channel. We gifted 15 memberships just yesterday on the stream, so congratulations all the new members. Also, we have a Patreon. You can become a Patreon member. Also, you can become a Rumble member, or you can just smash the like and subscribe if you're not already and repost the stream and help out that way. Lots of ways to help support us. Help support the Bitcoin fam as we continue to orange pill the masses like blackberry molasses. Game on. Yes. I am so sorry. I meant to say propose. Oh, let me reread that. I'm sorry. I meant to say I proposed to my brother to go to the partners with a nanopod Bitcoin miner to partner with him in mining some Bitcoin. Excellent, brother. That I would assume is the same brother that has the property in here in Costa Rica. I'm thinking I'm in Costa Rica. Good Lord. In Puerto Rico, a nanopod is a miner. Yeah, I'm not even familiar with them. I'm going to look into that. A nanopod, or is that like a living situation, like you're living in a pod? I got to look that up. Whatever happened to the iPod? Remember that thing? Larry Pedro from Dothan, Alabama. Welcome, brother. It's like 5 GPU. Oh, okay. It's a 5 GPU card, crypto miner. Good to note. And where would you set it up as far as where would it be plugged in electricity-wise? Would that be out of like DR, or would that be... I would assume New York has extremely high electricity costs. That's why I asked. Bitcoin's going to 115,000 all day, every day. 6 figures in play. Or it's a company. I just Googled it. Word. Are you smoking the sage? I wish. I got some sage. We'll definitely light some. But nah, sage is not for smoking. I'm sure you guys figured that out. But definitely for good vibes. 100%. Please read my last comment. Yeah, let me see what I missed, brother. Let me check the comments here. DNA. Hit the gong so I can do a bong. Yeah, I do the gong rip so DNA can do the bong rip. For the broskies, of course. This gong strikes for you, brother. Cheers. And again, welcome everyone joining us. I still have not got my bit axe yet. I'm bringing it to Montana, going to run it on solar. Nice. Somebody should have a sit down with Katie Hobbs and educate her. Well, here's the thing. She's probably not stupid. She just has handlers who are anti-Bitcoin. Can I just call it how I see things? I could be completely wrong, but using my intuition, knowing what I know in the world, none of these people who are governors or presidents or kings or queens to save face. Anyways, that's my 2 Satoshis. Let me know your thoughts before we roll into our next story of the day, Famalam. My apologies with the glitchy stream. Let's have our fingers crossed, hope it fixes itself, and we'll continue with the news, which, speaking of Katie Hobbs, that's our next story of the day. So let's break this baby down, shall we? Here we have it. So yeah, as you can see here, Arizona governor vetoes the bill to make Bitcoin part of the state reserves. That's Governor Katie Hobbs. So this is very unfortunate. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed the bill that would have allowed the state to hold Bitcoin as part of the official reserves, effectively ending efforts to make Arizona the first U.S. state to adopt such a policy. The Digital Asset Strategic Bill would have permitted Arizona to invest these funds into Bitcoin and create a reserve managed by state officials. It was formally struck down on Friday, according to the update on the Arizona State Legislature's website. Quoting it here, today I vetoed Senate Bill 1025. The Arizona State Retirement System is one of the strongest in the nation because it makes sound and informed investments. So yeah, she's just pretending to be stupid, in my opinion, and clearly she just recognizes Bitcoin as a potential threat. Her handlers are like, no, you're not allowed to sign that, and she don't have permission to sign the bill. That's how I perceive things. But yeah, anyways, Arizona's retirement fund are not to be the place for the state to try untested investments like virtual currency. First and foremost, Bitcoin is not a virtual currency. You maybe call it a digital currency or digital gold, but I don't like that term. That seems to be FUD, in my opinion. So it just goes to show you she's just acting stupid. Like, we would never invest in an untested investment. But is she really stupid, or is she just compromised, pretending to play the stupid card like all other politicians? That's my question for the Biddy fam. Let me know in the comments. On April 28th, the bill passed a final vote in the state house when 31 members of the Arizona House voted in favor of the bill, with 25 opposing. Hobbs had previously stated she would veto any legislation not tied to a bipartisan agreement on disability funding. I mean, I'm going to assume she is a Democrat, but I don't even know. I'm just assuming. Let me know in the chat. A companion bill, SB 1373, would authorize the state treasurer to and I say that because all Democrats are virtually against Bitcoin in some sense. Yeah, I mean, the entire Biden administration was against Bitcoin. The entire Obama administration was against Bitcoin, hence why we had the war on crypto. They were against all of it. So I'm just assuming there, but let me know. Arizona joined several other states where similar efforts have failed. In recent months, similar proposals in Oklahoma, Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming have stalled or been withdrawn. In contrast, North Carolina's House passed the Digital Asset Investment Act April 30th, allowing the state treasurer to invest up to 5% of certain funds in approved crypto. And I believe the only approved crypto would have been Bitcoin because it must be a staggering market cap, something like whatever it is, $1 trillion or something like that. And the state level efforts to create Bitcoin reserves come amid a push from the U.S. President Trumpster and Republican lawmakers to do the same at the federal government. Trump signed the executive order, as you know, back in March with a proposal for the strategic Bitcoin reserve as well as the digital asset stockpile. And if you don't know, now you know. So yeah, Katie Hobbs, bad look is all I'm going to say. But I'm going to read the comments and read your guys' comments out loud. Again, welcome everyone to the live stream, tri-stream. Looks like we're up to 700 people. I thought Arizona was a swing state, meaning full of swingers. Swinging to the color blue. Exactly. Remember to smile. God loves you and Satoshi blesses you. Amen. Shame, she must think all the people that got the bill on her desk don't know what they are doing. I doubt it. I think she's just compromised. I mean, it's the most logical explanation. No faith in her subordinates. She's Republican, by the way. Wow. And she's that's kind of shocking to me. I assume she was a Dem. There you have it. Thank you for the clarity. It goes, I am a long-haired lover from Liverpool. Truly awful old song I heard by accident. Hey, bruh. Do you even Bitcoin, bruh? Welcome to the Joseph Gonzalez. What it do? Shout out Josh and the rest of the Biddy group. Make some noise. And again, comments and quotes are greatly appreciated. We could orange pill the masses, hack the algorithm, one repost at a time. Finally, off nights, I get to watch JV live. Shout out Adam Taylor. Cheers. And Fairground, thank you, brother. Shout out Sergio. For those that didn't see, when we were in Bitcoin country, you got JV, Sergio, Brandon Martin, Brandon, and our Biddy friends. Respect. I love it. Just reposted. Yeah, next year is going to be lit. This was actually a hangout night when we were there for the Max and Stacy Invitational. We went out drinking, and I'm a lightweight, so notice I only have a water in front of me. I tried to hang with my Biddy broskies. I couldn't. I tried. So thank God Brandon Martin was drinking my drinks for me. Shout out James Smith. I appreciate the super brother. I'm going to go ahead and strike the gong for you. Appreciate it. Shortcoin says she Googled the name and it says Democrat. So can someone confirm? Is she a Dem or a Republican? Or is she a wolf in sheep's clothing? There's no telling with these governors. Let me know. My first governor I ever met and shook his hand, by the way, when I lived in California, we did a field trip and we got to go to the Capitol over there. I think it was in Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a long trip. And long story short, it was Pete Wilson back in the day. Was he a good guy or bad guy? I would assume he's a bad guy now that I'm an adult. But when I was a kid, I'm like, wow, I'm meeting the governor. Shook my hand. His name was Pete Wilson. This was before they had the camera phones, so I didn't get to capture it on video or nothing like that. But nonetheless, that was my first governor I ever met. I think the only governor I've ever met. She's an old bag, says Josh. Couldn't agree more. Yes, Democrat, fake election versus Kerry. So my instincts were right. I've never looked that up before. I was just guessing. And it seems my instincts are on point. She is a Dem. Interesting. Shout out the Oracle. Good to have you here. Welcome to the live stream. Shout out Amari. We were just talking about Katie Hobbs vetoing the bill for Arizona. We just covered that story, and my suspicion was she must be a Democrat. And then someone's like, no, she's Republican. So I'm like, oops, my mistake. And then two people in a row just said she is a Democrat. So maybe she's a flopper. One minute she's Republican, and then next minute she's both. She's in camouflage. She works for the lizard people. Now it makes sense. Tis the top. Tip top. My mistake. She is a blue demon Democrat. There you go, champ. The force is strong in this bitch. Always use your instincts. Never trust the science. But anyways, let me check the feed one more time and we'll continue. Happy Sat Stack and Saturday. Help me blow up the stream, fam. I appreciate it. I'm just reposting everyone from the BTC News Alerts account. And thank you guys so much for helping me achieve 40,000 followers on X. It only took me 6 years. So that's a massive accomplishment for us here. And it's crazy because we crossed 40,000 a moment ago and I check it again and it's back down to 39.9. I feel like we've been stuck at 39.9 for a few months. I was just like, and then we hit 40,000 and it just went back to 39.9. Jeez Louise. Can't win. Damn lizard folks. We live with some of the Bitcoin news. Thank you, Serge. Love the photos. Love the cap, by the way, representing CNA. That logo looks quite familiar. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. But we're going to continue with the next story of the day. Now we exposed Katie Hobbs, the demon herself, holding back Bitcoin adoption because she has lizard folk handlers, in my opinion, which did not allow her to approve of the bill and forced her to veto it, or probably said, we'll use our blackmail from the Diddy party. And she's like, oh no, you know all the Dems, there's blackmail on them. allegedly, from hanging out at Gilligan's Island and Diddy. So who knows how much blackmail they have on Katie? That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it, allegedly. But anyways, she doesn't work for the lizard, folks. She is a lizard. Maybe an iguana. You never know. There's a lot of types of, in the lizard family, the reptile family. You know what I mean? But next story of the day, fam. Now we discussed trader Katie Hobbs ultimately sabotaging the state of Arizona. Now we'll discuss Ethereum. And this is an interesting headline. Vitalik wants to make Ethereum as simple as Bitcoin in 5 years. You cannot make this shit up. Guess what? Once Ethereum was the same protocol in the sense it used to be proof of work, and then they changed it to proof of stake. This was back in 2022. Ever since they made that retarded move, it's been downhill for Ethereum. Ethereum is still down almost 50% from its all-time high, meaning in 2021, I think it was in November, it achieved maybe 4,500. It's struggling to maintain 1,700 right now. So not a good look. But I also want to read you Max Keiser's response, which is hilarious. Ethereum died. It just hasn't been buried yet. In fact, it was a stillborn. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a stillborn is when the child is born unalived, which is very sad, by the way. What an incredible waste of time and energy. And this was off the back of Vitalik's own tweet. One of the best things about Bitcoin is how simple it is. Duh. This simplicity has lots of benefits. Duh. Let's bring those benefits to Ethereum. Are you shitting me, bro? A little too late. But anyways, let's discuss this interesting little post. So yeah, this post will describe how Ethereum 5 years from now can become close as simple to Bitcoin. And this is according to Vitalik, arguing that simplicity is key to Ethereum's resilience and long-term scalability. Well, I'll tell you straight up, Ethereum is one of the most difficult to understand when it comes to the tokenomics and the max supply. That's why nobody can explain it. And that's why there's an infinity sign to represent the total tokenomics. It is extremely complex. And with all the updates they have rolled out and with all the changes and rolling back the blockchain, how can anyone in their right mind have any trust or respect for Ethereum? The only one still bullish on it is the Trump family because of their interest, I believe, in their decentralized platform, WLFI. But I digress. I don't really know anybody who's like, wow, Ethereum's amazing. Like, I haven't, no one. Like, even the biggest shillers who were shilling Ethereum previous cycles, like the Raoul Pals, etc., I don't even hear them talking about it no more. So it just goes to show you. But anyways, while recent upgrades like the proof of stake and zero knowledge succinct, non-interactive argument of the knowledge, and like I said, even the upgrade names, they all have to rhyme. Nothing makes sense. It's beyond my comprehension. And I'm not the smart. I don't have the highest IQ, but I'm not retarded. And if I don't understand anything, like when these updates roll out, just imagine the average pleb. They'd be as confused as what, right? Quoting them here. Historically, Ethereum has often not done this, sometimes because of my own decisions, and this has contributed to much of our excessive development expenditure, all kinds of security risks, and insularity of R&D culture, often in pursuit of benefits that have proven illusory. So he is admitting straight up he's done nothing but doom his own project. So respect. I didn't expect to read that. One key area of focus is Ethereum's consensus layer. Central to this effort is the proposed 3-slot finality model, which eliminates complex components like epochs. Like, does anyone even know what this means? Like, I'm not going to pretend. Sync committees and validator shuffling. I don't know what none of that means. The reduced number of active validators at a time means that it becomes safer to use simpler implementations of the fork choice rule. Are you even familiar with the fork choice rule? I'm not. Others proposed improvements include allowing for more straightforward fork choice rules. Well, obviously a fork is ultimately forking the network. And adopting scalable, transparent argument of knowledge, Stark-based aggregation protocols. You're speaking a different language, brother. On the execution layer, Buterin proposed a shift from the Ethereum virtual machine to a simpler ZK-friendly virtual machine like the RISC-V. It's like you're speaking Arabic. This move could offer 100x performance improvements for zero-knowledge proofs and significantly simplify the protocol. I'll see it when I believe it. You know what I mean? When I see it. RISC-V is an open source instruction set architecture used in designing computer processors. It follows a minimalist design philosophy, using a small set of simple instructions for higher efficiency and easier implementation to preserve backward capability. Buterin suggests running legacy EVM contracts on-chain via a RISC-V interpreter while supporting both the VMs concurrently during the transitional phase. Like, what in the world is he smoking is my question. I want some of it. Buterin also advocated for protocol-wide standardization, suggesting adopting a single erasure coding method, serialization format, and a tree structure to reduce redundant complexity and streamline the Ethereum tooling and the infrastructure. Quoting him here, simplicity is in many ways similar to decentralization. I disagree. Simplicity is not decentralization, clearly. He suggested Ethereum adopt a max line of code target, similar to what TinyGrad does, keeping consensus critical logic as lean and auditable. Again, I'm not even going to read any more of this. Let's just note there's been a plethora of significant changes over the past few years, and no one really even understands any of this unless you're a developer or something. Like, I don't understand or comprehend any of it. I have no trust of anything coming out of that guy's mouth. I don't understand the language. He's practically speaking a different language at this point. But you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll read them out loud. My first governor was George Wallace. Oh, word. Kentucky Derby today. The tracks are underwater. Flooding, eh? Yep, she got the flopper. Oh, snap. Vitalik needs an actual interpreter on stage with him. The ETH jargon is too much. He definitely needs to simplify the shit to where average people could understand what the fuck he's talking about. Be a step in the right direction. I'm not going to pretend to understand any of that. Like, I just read you something and it just left me massively confused with less trust for Ethereum. Bottom line. So I think Max is right. It's manipulation, says James. I'll eventually bend the knee to the bitty king, pretty much. One Glencoe, don't forget the thumbs up. Shout out One Glencoe. He's just SBF on a diet. That's quote of the day, Adam. I'm going to strike the gong for that one. Vitalik is freaking SBF on what makes you skinny. Ozempic. There's that drug every single fat woman is on, where they're losing their eyesight and getting ill, but they don't care because they're losing weight. The thing that's allegedly like the lizard folks' venom. You know what I'm saying? There's this alleged miracle drug that every fat person is on right now. Even people in like my family circle. It's like, yeah, I lost 80 pounds. Now I can't see. Wow. And now you got lizard venom in your blood. Go figure. Damn lizard folks strike again. ZK, roll up. Anyways. It's a fugazi or a fugazium, as Zassy would say. That's the one. Don't sue me, Big Pharma. But my understanding is I've been reading all sorts of articles popping on my feed of people becoming blind and terminally ill because they wanted to lose some weight with that doctor prescribed weight loss drug, which is allegedly some lizard venom. It's bad enough the lizard folks run the earth. Now you want to have the lizard venom inside of you? Good luck. Good luck with that. Why wouldn't you just go on a diet and exercise? I mean, it's not rocket science. You can't just have the lizard venom forever and stay skinny without jeopardizing the rest of your health. I mean, common sense would tell you, right? And then the moment you stop taking the lizard venom, you'll probably be a Oompa Loompa again. So what was the whole purpose of taking it? Kind of like a steroid. You want to get steroids and get buff. The moment you get off that shit, your wiener shrinks 10 sizes, most likely, and then you never recapture those gains. So what was the point of doing it when you could have just worked out and dieted properly? Same concept, right? Everyone's looking for the shortcut. Everybody. Oh, I can take the magic pill. I don't have to go to the gym. Ha ha, suckers. Who's the sucker now? You're blind. Good luck. Blind as a bat. A banshee, I dare say. People are lazy. It's crazy. Keto diet is all natural. There's always side effects. Yes, every drug has a side effect. And let's call the drug a drug for what it is. Stop calling it medicine. Medicine heals you. A drug makes you worse. It may temporarily solve the fat problem because you're going to lose weight because you have lizard venom running through your bloodstream, and all lizards are skinny. However, I digress, yo. My wiener's already small. Exactly. Imagine having a small wiener and taking the roids, and it gets even smaller. It's going to look like a pea. Not a good look, gentlemen. Not a good look.
Like a B-52, we built a bitty.
Stacked revolutionary love shack, boo. I'm stacking sats like it's Max and Stacy. Stacking sats cause tax is crazy. I'm stacking sats cause the IMF hates me. Stacking sats cause the haters don't faze me. No Diddy, no Jay-Z. Stacking the bitty like it's Nipsey and JV. Stacking the bitty like it's paper and Chandy. Stacking BTC like caffeine in my canteen. Life is a game of chess that makes biddies the damn queen. Stacking BTC till they cancel me and I can't stream. Like Biggie, it was all a dream. Now the biddy has set me free.
Nippinator's excited here. Shout out Nippinator. The only people who should take one pick are people who are like 400 pounds and can't move around enough to lose weight. Definitely overprescribed and dangerous as heck. Good point. Good point. If you're 20 pounds overweight, you may want to just look into going on a diet and eating properly. And maybe over the next 60 days, you'll lose some weight. But you want to take the miracle drug. Oh my God, every celebrity is on this. This is amazing. Good luck. That's all I got to say. You trust the authorities too much. Like a young fat Cartman or young skinny Cartman. Respect my authority. Like a young Beavis and Butthead. I need TP. I'm the great Cornholio. I need Bitcoin for my portfolio. Paper money eventually returns to the intrinsic value. Zero. Exactly. Exactly. You guys are too smart. Be smart. Don't be an art-tart. Better off being a pop-tart. I lost 10 just not drinking. Exactly. Get off the beer, broskies. You're going to lose the belly. Game on. You'll no longer look like a pudgy little penguin. Simple. Too many carbs. Maybe reduce your bread intake and stop eating so much sugar. Maybe that will help. Maybe start exercising. There's nothing wrong with putting in the work. Nothing wrong with sweating. Embrace it. We have 24 hours on the earth every day. We all have the same amount of time. You can dedicate one of the 24 hours into your health. If you're unwilling to dedicate 1 hour to your health every day, that's blasphemous in my opinion. It's disrespectful to God. The body is thy temple. You're going to disrespect the temple God blessed you with? God blesses you with 24 hours every single day. Every single day. Yet people can't find any time to do a push-up, do a sit-up, go take a walk, go adopt a pet like a Nippinator, go catch yourself a Pokemon, something. Go for a walk. It's easy. Why do we overcomplicate things? Makes no sense. People that own Bitcoin do not have the small weenies. Exactly. Well, some of us do, but we have big gonads to coincide alongside the tiny weenie to make up for it. Short coin. Anyways. But yeah, stop drinking soda. You'll probably lose some weight. You lost 10 pounds. Good for you, brother. Biden OD'd on the lizard juice. Oh, snap. They love the lizard juice. And they also love the, what is it? The adrenochrome? It's delicious, apparently. Bitcoin cured my depression. Excellent. Cheers, fam. And again, welcome. 1,100 people on the stream. We're about to transition. Not that type of transition. Get your head out of the gutter. But into our next story of the day. I hobbled to Jersey Mike's today. Got a steak and cheese sub. In the tub. In the tub. No soda. No brownie. Exactly. I used to do the brownie every day with my meal. They asked, JV, why don't you get the brownie? I was like, I don't need it. It's nice, it's there, but it's full of sugar. Granted, it's natural because they use all the natural ingredients and the almond butter and like the good stuff. I'm just like, I can do without the brownie. Maybe I'll put on an extra few weeks of my life by just saying, no, I don't want the brownie. You know what I mean? I don't need the brownie points. I'm old school.
Going, let's video, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Hollow house strong, yeah, we built it.
My depression has gone from the Bitcoin boom shakalaka. Bada boom, bada Bitcoin. Next story of the day, the latest from the high priest, Max Keiser. This is actually a good headline. Max Keiser thinks the Bitcoin will stop Israel displacing the Palestinians. Can I get an amen? That's right, Bitcoin Maxi himself, Max Keiser, claims Bitcoin can change the minds of Israeli settlers and orange pill them into stopping a campaign of displacing Palestinian citizens. Keiser's far-fetched solution is in response to a segment of Louis Therox's new documentary on Israeli settlers that's currently doing the rounds on X. In the clip, they describe the actions of Daniela Wise, the leader of a sanctioned Israeli settler group, as sociopathic, and claims doesn't consider the lives of other people and other children in her settlement campaign. Wise says, however, this is normal. Keiser's thoughts on the interview. Bitcoin fixes this. How? Bitcoin fundamentally changes on the biological, psychological, philosophical level, what the definition of property is. That's right, Bitcoin provides individual property rights for 8 billion of us. This woman is killing or willing to kill her neighbors for a scrap a scrap of land. Her mind and soul are broken. And then he goes on, let's open the actual tweet. And again, this is a direct quote from Max Keiser. Her mind and soul are broken. If she truly understood Bitcoin, she would understand that everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. She would see for the first time that she is a murderer and a genocidal maniac, and her actions would sicken her. We must orange pill these folks to save this ancient region. So we need Bitcoin, especially over there, right? Because there's an ongoing war that just seems to never end. The documentary is a follow-up to similar film he made 14 years ago. He's seen interviewing religious nationalist Israelis who have settled in the Israeli-occupied West Bank in an effort to see what they're doing in response to the Hamas attacks. In a documentary, Weiss outright says she wants to colonize Gaza, and that when describing her intentions as a settler, she says, we do for the government what they cannot do for themselves. Interesting. Keiser claims Bitcoin redefines property on a biological, molecule level, psychological, and philosophical level. That's a fact. And that if Wise truly